Hello, everyone. This is the Bearcat at Den. My name is Michael.
I'm Monique, and this is your weekly sports podcast covering NBA, WNBA, NFL, MLB, and any other sports leagues.
Welcome to this week's episode.
Let's get it.
So it's the official start to the NBA season. Finally, we've got here, and it's the most anticipated time of year.
Yeah, we've been talking and we've been building up little by little and saying like, when October comes, we're gonna cover NBA, we're gonna cover NCAA basketball. So basketball is really exciting and I can't wait to, jump in and start talking about it, especially now because there's a whole new tournament that's gonna be happening. So yeah.
How's that tournament supposed to work?
So
Because I'm still a little confused about, not confused, I'm a little unsure about how it's going to work.
So all 30 teams are randomly drawn into 5 different groups within their conference. And it begins on November 3rd and goes to November 28th. So each team plays 4 different group games called tournament nights, and these games are happening during the regular season. I forgot what day.
So it's the regular season and
the
tournament?
That's why it's called an in-season tournament. Okay. So the tournament's happening during the regular season, and those regular season games count as tournament games. So
they already picked the teams or not yet?
Yeah, I think the teams are already divided.
Because, okay, I'm seeing now that
it's like ABC and ABC in the West, ABC in the East, and those teams play against each other.
You know what's crazy?
It's a little confusing, but I guess as we go through this for the first time, it's going to be a lot easier to understand. But it's a mouthful.
Yeah. How long does it last to? Because
I think it finishes on the 28th of November.
It starts next week.
Yeah, it starts next week.
That's
okay, so
crazy.
Like it says, tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 3rd to the 28th. So those regular season games count as the in-season tournament games. I think the only really exciting thing about this one is the knockout rounds where there's single elimination. So no more 7 or 3 games to win.
Yeah, best 3 out of 5, best 5 out of 7.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So 1 game eliminations?
1 game elimination.
So it obviously it's going to have its divisions and their breakups.
Yeah.
But are they going to play games beforehand to get a record first and then decide who plays who, or is it just off
No, it's random. They said it was by draw, so I think they already have it divided, and these teams are just gonna play each other. And they're just gonna go for it's so confusing. That's why I'm saying we have to go through this first season of this tournament together. And just see how it goes.
No, yeah. I kind of feel bad for the players too, because obviously they have to worry about the regular season.
And you have to worry about this tournament. And you have to worry about getting to the finals. And if being and all-stars on top of your mind, you also have to worry about that.
It's not enough time to game plan either. Because let's say if you're, I don't know, I'm using the Knicks for example. Let's say if the Knicks play the Heat in the play-in tournament on, I don't know, let's say Wednesday.
Yeah.
And let's say the next day they have to fly all the way down to, no, they have to fly all the way back to Boston for a regular season game.
I do agree. It could be a lot, especially with the traveling, especially if it's back to back like that. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how people perform, but it kind of is a lot. But
actually, it says it's from back to what we were saying before about the tournament. It starts November 3rd, and the championship is December 9th.
Okay, so the regular games end on the 28th, and then you go into semifinals, and then you go into finals.
The inaugural in-season tournament will tip off on Friday as group play starts with a full slate of games. It's going to look a little different.
The groups are split into their conferences, and then they're also divided into 3 groups within their conferences. So what do you see for West A?
West A, I think the Suns come out of there alive.
Yeah, so West A is the Suns, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, Jazz, and Trailblazers. I definitely see the Suns taking that for West A.
Yeah. West B, what do you think?
West B, I think the Nuggets are going to take this.
Nuggets,
the Clippers, the Pelicans, the Mavericks and Rockets. Yeah, I think Nuggets are taking this. Or the Mavericks might, might give them a little situation.
I mean, that's a pretty stacked up group,
Yeah.
but I could see the Nuggets, but like as of like, I wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans comes in and
The
does
Pelicans.
damage
Okay.
because Zion's back and back to his like what he was once he was first drafted at Duke.
Yeah. And then West C, which has some nice emerging talent just everywhere. We have the Sacramento Kings, Golden State, Timberwolves, OKC Thunders, and the Spurs. This is also stacked with a lot of like young talent.
Yeah, 100%. Like the youngins being the Timberwolves. Even
okay,
honestly,
youngs,
everything all around except for like the Warriors.
Yeah,
are all young.
They're the only vet team.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh, this one is so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can see the Kings kind of taking this.
I was gonna say the same exact thing.
I can see the Sacramento.
Like the beam.
Yeah. I can see the Sacramento Kings taking that one.
No, 100%. I agree. Especially how they quickly turned it around last season, and
Season, yeah, they made it so far last season.
Yeah, like I feel like that they're just gonna pick up right where they left off. They're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the beam's going to be lit a lot, and I could see the Suns taking that. No, sorry, the Kings taking that one.
Yeah.
All right, now let's jump over to the East.
The East.
East A. What do you think? I think that, hate to say it, but the Sixers take that one.
76ers. So East 8 is the 76ers, Cavaliers, the Hawks,
Pacers,
and the Pistons. Yeah. Yeah. Joel Embiid, she's gonna,
dominate.
Moving along.
East B. So we have the Bucks, the Knicks, the Heat, Wizards, and the Hornets.
This is gonna be very interesting when you got the Bucks against the Heat. You have Jimmy Butler against
Dame
Damian Lillard. Like, I'm very excited to see them play against each other. But I think the Bucks are gonna take this.
You say the Bucks?
If they're okay, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. But the Knicks could also be a high contender in this. Like I feel like only if the Bucks are healthy, because the Knicks can very well give them great competition.
I think that the Knicks are going to take it.
Okay.
Because they're a very deep team. They're well rounded.
Yeah.
They're great defensively. Last night they played great against the Celtics, but that's a conversation for later. But I can see the Knicks taking this one. And then finally East C.
So East
which
C.
is the Celtics, the Nets, the Raptors, Bulls, and the Magic. Personally, I see the Celtics taking this one. Tatum's too good. Brown's too good. Porzingis has started off the season hot against his former team, the Knicks, within the first game that they played. I think that they'll win that group. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I do think the Celtics are going to take this easily. No comments. No further comments. No further comments. But I'm saying easily, but I mean the Nets and Raptors and Bulls and Magic, they still have pretty nice players on there. So, but I do think the Celtics are going to take it, especially the Celtics have Drew Holiday, they have Jaylen Brown, they have Jason Tatum. I don't know. I'm still really confused. I guess by the time we get to the semifinals, I'm probably going to be understanding what's going on.
A little too late.
Right now, I'm just still confused. I'm I don't know how this is going to go. I love a good winner takes all game. I love that the knockout round is just one game and that's it, because it puts a lot of pressure on you. So I'm excited for when we get to that point. So we can talk about that when this picks up.
It was too early to do this, but we got to.
Okay.
Very early final predictions. Who do you think is going to win the West? Who do you think is going to win the East? And who do you think is going to win it all?
Mm. Okay, let me look at my picture of all the team logos right now. Um, predictions. Please don't hold me accountable to this because this is super early. Things can change. In a good world, the East, some way, somehow, the Knicks win the East.
Really?
Some way, somehow.
Are you saying that because you're in New York, or are you just saying that?
Like this is my thought process. If I'm thinking about like 3 or 4 teams that would be in the finals for the East, I'm thinking the Knicks, I'm thinking the Bucks, I'm thinking the Celtics, and I'm thinking the Heat maybe.
Mhm.
When we go from there, I think like it's really hard. I'm either the Knicks, I'm either the Bucks, I'm the Celtics. Like I have these 3 teams and I don't know who to pick.
Honestly, actually, what is your? So you say the Knicks for the East?
I don't know. I'm so
You gotta pick- you gotta
indecisive.
pick.
I have to pick one. What?
I mean, if you want, I could go. I already have my 2.
Okay, you can go ahead.
In the West, I think the Suns take it.
I'm
But
agree. I'm
clearly-
agreeing with the West. I on record
Just
agree with the
dominant
West.
super team.
Suns, I can see that all the way.
And then for the East, I can
Are
see
you gonna
it
say the
being
Bucks?
no,
Oh.
no shot. I think it could be a tough race between the Celtics and the Heat, but I slightly lean towards the Celtics a little more.
I can see the Celtics going back to the finals, but I can see the Knicks doing really well as well.
And then also winning the finals, I have the Suns.
Yeah, I definitely have the Suns. Like the Suns, I don't. It's no debate over there. It's just when I get to the East, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand on business, and I'm gonna go Suns in the West, and I'm gonna go Knicks in the East. Knicks is a very hot take. Oh my gosh, please don't embarrass me. Okay, we're gonna redo this mid-season because I need to change my. We're gonna do this again December.
No, yeah,
I
we're
need to
going to
change my
do
predictions up.
mid-season takes too,
Yeah.
as in like finals, but we'll figure that out when time comes.
So the Thunders actually won their game against the Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs aren't that good yet.
Yeah, I know. You know, everybody's just
Again, it's a
talking
rough
about
start.
the Spurs because of Victor.
Wembanyama.
Who did pretty well during like preseason games.
Yeah.
Did pretty well during his debut game. So yeah, nothing that much to say about Wemby or anything yet. I feel like he still has to play a little bit more for me. I don't see all the hype yet. I know he's tall. I know he can block. Like if you saw that block against the Warriors, but no further comments.
I remember seeing something on like X, I believe, and it was like one of the Rockets coaches put in extensions on his arms. So
was it Rockets or was it?
No, the Rockets.
I think it was another.
Was it the Rockets or was it the Mavericks?
I think it was the Mavericks. Yeah.
The Mavericks.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was the Mavericks coach who put extended arms on
the coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
To help them practice.
Because Wemby's arm length is just insane.
It is.
So like they got to prepare in that way. So smart thing about the coach though.
I mean, you want to go into every situation prepared. You don't, no surprises.
Nah, yeah, definitely. Especially if you know a player of that caliber and his capabilities. You want to be able to defend it or go up against it as best as possible.
Definitely.
So 2 teams that we're going to keep track of this year, obviously. It's the Knicks and the Nets. The Knicks expectations are predominantly high.
Very high.
Because of after their playoff push last year and failing. And then this year coming into the season with about the same squad, but some new additions. I think that the Knicks' expectations are, like I said before, are high. And honestly, I can see them going to Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just getting confused again with this whole playing situation. But I can see that too. We did a whole segment on them last episode and talking about their college reunion. Um, they lost their first game, but like you said, expectations are very high for them. So we're going to continue watching them, probably continue keeping some eyes on some players. Um, if I look at their stats for that game, which was yesterday, right?
But for the Knicks,
Yeah.
I know Emmanuel quickly went off. He was dominant as a six man.
Emmanuel quickly had 24 points.
Yeah. And then RJ Barrett obviously
Also had
popped off.
24 points. Yeah.
If you don't even know. Even check.
Which is almost literally like a combined 50 points between two players.
Exactly. And like we were talking about like earlier on in like earlier episodes. If you haven't listened, take a listen. We said that Emmanuel quickly should take a bigger role into this offense and should start.
Yeah, they didn't start him.
Yeah. So like I think that it's going to happen sooner or later if Josh Hart doesn't like step up a little bit, or not even Josh Hart, even what they start last night? I think they started Quentin Grimes last night. So I mean, Grimes did have 11 points last night. So
yeah, they started
on the
RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, and Quentin Grimes.
I think that
who had 11 points. I would have switched him out for Emmanuel quickly, but maybe next game Emmanuel will start.
I mean, I say that, but I also say that lightly because I'm thinking about it now. You need somebody to lead the second team, I'd say. So I think quickly provides that for the Knicks, and he's done a pretty good job. So we talked about the Knicks. We got to talk about the Nets now. So the Brooklyn Nets.
Let me just tell you who were the starters. So we have McCall Bridges, obviously, Cameron Johnson, Nick Claxton, Spencer Dinwiddie, and then Ben Simmons. I promise you guys, I don't hate Ben Simmons, but why is Ben Simmons starting and he has four? Like, why doesn't Cam start? Like, Cam has not started since they were trying to find new people. After KD got traded, he's never technically really started unless it was like that little period of time. And he had 36 points last night.
I think that I do agree with you to an extent, but I think they have Simmons out there for defensively because he also did have 9 boards and 9 assists. No, 10 boards and 9 assists to last night. And I feel like that his offensive production needs to be more than we need to see more from him offensively. But again, it's the first game. Give him some time. I feel like he's going to score more. But
sometimes I'm with you and I'm patient with you and I'm patient with him. I'm trying, but I don't want to okay. I'm going to be.
Bridges started, Johnson. I mean, you could play the 1 or the 4, but and Clax.
Even me looking at like stats, I look at 1 rebound for Spencer Dinwiddie, 3 assists, 0 blocks, and 5 points.
Who actually started?
And he was playing for. I have it right here. And he was playing for 23 minutes. I just feel like Cam needs a starting position. Let's give the boy some respect. I understand that he's still young. You still want to develop him, but I feel like he's proven himself a lot. But we'll see what the Nets do with him moving forward. if you have a good player, just use them. No comment, no further comments.
But I do agree with you to an extent that I think Cam Thomas should be starting over Dinwiddie. I think.
Definitely. Like Dinwiddie, like, okay, I can compare the stats for Spencer Dinwiddie and Ben Simmons. Ben had more rebounds, more blocks.
He did more on
more
the defensive
assists.
side.
Yeah. Spencer, I'm getting 1-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-5. Like,
Yeah. But again, I think
do you think this is a little bit of a different kind of conversation? Do you think that Spencer is given a lot more favor over Cam because of age? Do you think when it comes to the NBA and starting people, do you think age is favored more than talent? Do you think that quote unquote experience is favored more than talent?
I mean, I believe that he does bring the veteran leadership to the team, considering how long he's been in the league. And then also along the sense of with the team itself, I think the team's just doing their due diligence, considering they didn't pay him when he signed with the Mavericks. Obviously, he came back here. So I think that that's the reason why he's starting as of right now.
Okay.
But I think that he could do the same exact role on the second team on the same amount of minutes. Because if Cam Thomas keeps on showing his talent efficiently, then he should just take the role of Dinwiddie, I feel like. Considering he was the highest scorer last night.
Yeah, the highest on every game that happened last night. I guess we'll see, but this season he does have a lot more playtime. Even when he was putting up those numbers, when he did, right after that, his playtime dropped significantly.
Yeah.
So 25 minutes? At least he's starting to get a lot more time. So that's a good sign.
No, I agree with you 100% on that. So for tonight's games, we have the Sixers and the Bucks, and the Suns and the Lakers. Tonight, I think that the Sixers win it tonight, and I'm sorry, but I think the Suns win it tonight.
Are you saying sorry because I'm a Giannis fan?
Yes.
I'm saying the Bucks because I'm always going to say the Bucks. And now for the Suns versus the Lakers, since I do have a little bit more sense on my head when it comes to these teams, I'm going to say the Suns. Sorry, LeBron.
I agree, 100%. And then also we have the Knicks versus Atlanta, and the Nets versus the Mavericks.
The Knicks are gonna win.
I think they do. The Knicks do win that, especially if it's Atlanta, and we all know how the Knicks and Atlanta rivalry goes.
It's always a problem between those two. Are they playing in Atlanta?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I do have the Knicks winning that game as well with you.
Yeah.
And then for the Brooklyn versus Dallas game, I have surprisingly, I think.
Okay. I think the Mavericks are going to take that. Especially being that, I don't know, I feel like sometimes the Knicks don't play their players well, but I think the Mavericks are going to take this because I'm looking at Luka. I'm looking at Kyrie, and also, I don't know if you saw Derek Lively and how he played. So, yeah, I think the Mavericks are going to take this.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
Make sure you tune in next week for more. Bye.
Later.